Hello, internet fans, and welcome to 3B Video. I'm your host, Rotten Roger DeMarco, and today we're going to be talking about my top 5 horror films from 1996.
Yeah, buddy.
Now comes the part where I offer that little itty-bitty disclaimer.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
About the way that I make my lists. The way that I make these lists is not by which films perform the best in the box office. The way that I rank these films is just by the amount of fun that I have with them. So your list and my list are maybe gonna be a little bit different, and that's totally cool. But let's get on with the list. So coming in at my number 5 horror film from 1996 is a little movie you might have heard of called Bad Moon. Now I've done a recommends for this movie somewhere in this area here. But if you still want to hear me jabberjaw about this movie, here's your plot synopsis, if you will. Dennis the Menace, literally, versus a werewolf. And Dennis the Menace has a super cool dog named Thor. And he and the dog team up to kick this werewolf's ass. Spoiler alert, the werewolf is his uncle. That sounds like an 80s horror movie title, My Uncle the Werewolf. If it wasn't, someone should make that. This movie is great. Super overlooked, probably one of the best werewolf designs that I've ever seen, minus about 7 seconds of really shitty CGI. Other than that, this is one of those movies that I always gravitate towards. This is one of those movies that I just love more than anything in the world. I mean, seriously, if that sentence can't sell you on this movie, Dennis the Menace versus a werewolf, I don't know what else could make you want to watch a werewolf movie. But I really enjoy this movie. I go back to it all the time. It's got some of the best creature effects I've ever seen in my life, so it had to make the list. But moving on to my number 4 horror film from 1996 is another weird direct-to-video movie that was just super slept on, I guess because it's in a giant franchise, if you will, but that is Amityville Dollhouse. Yeah, I know, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of Amityville movies, and some of them really suck. I just had to say it. I'm just saying it. Some of them,
woo, what were you guys thinking?
But in 1996, this weird little direct-to-video Amityville Dollhouse movie was one of those movies that I would pass at the video store, and this cover just sucked me in. This little girl staring at this dollhouse that's the Amityville house. And is this movie groundbreaking by any means?
No.
But as a young kid, this movie just did something for me. I just absolutely love this movie. Not to mention, one of the main ghost monster people really reminds me of Big Ben from House. So I had that weird little connection. And maybe somewhere, some way, got those two movies confused in my youth. I guess that might be a reason why I like this movie so much. But it has everything. It's got weird, I want to sleep with my stepmom vibes. It's got great creature effects. It's got some really hokey dialogue. It's got hot girls getting burnt by fireplaces. All kinds of weird stuff in this movie that I like. And it's a super cheese fest. It isn't going to win any awards today, tomorrow, in 1996. It's just not. It's not one of those movies that you see and go, all right, this is the new face of horror. No. This is a movie you go, this is like the 47th Amityville movie.
I'll give it a shot.
And I really like it, so it had to make my list. So if you haven't seen Amityville Dollhouse, and I haven't covered it, so don't click anything up here, because there won't be anything up there. But if you haven't seen it, find a way to see it, because it kicks ass. Moving on to my number 3 horror film from 1996 is Tremors II, Aftershocks. My son might want to come punch me in the balls for putting this smack dab in the center of my list, because he's a massive Tremors fan, as am I, as is Evil. But my fandom only lasts so far into the franchise, and Tremors 2 is a worthy successor of the first film. I really like this movie. It's funny, and the creature designs are awesome. The CGI didn't age that well, but damn it, this movie is super fun. You've got the Shriekers, the new versions of the Graboids. They look like little things that should be in a Mario movie or something. Really weird, and they use heat. They hunt you down by your heat. In the 90s, this movie was a staple for me. It seemed to always be on HBO, so every time that it would pop up, I was going to that channel and I was watching Tremors 2. But this is a great creature feature that's good for your kids, good for the whole family. There's only one butt cheek in the movie, and it's a picture of a magazine, so it's fine. Your kids can watch it. You have my blessing. In this movie, we don't get the return of Kevin Bacon, but what we do get is Fred Ward and Burt Gummer back in the mix, hunting down graboids for money. And so it's got this really fun adventure vibe to it. So you can't make a list about 1996 without putting Tremors 2 in there. And if you haven't seen it, shame on you. Go buy the 8-film box set, or however many fucking movies there are now, and watch Tremors 2. Do that. But moving on to my number 2 horror film from 1996. You might have heard of this one. It's a little Wes Craven film called Scream. Now I know a lot of people are watching this video going, hey, that should be number 1.
You hear that, Stu? I think she wants some motive.
1996 only had so many groundbreaking films, and arguably Scream changed the game. Yes, I will not argue with you about that. Scream is a game changer. But when it comes to my favorite films from 1996, this is just runner-up. Yes, it revitalized the horror genre, and everybody went gaga, and Wes Craven's name became a household name again. And this is one of those movies that really ushered in that self-referential, very hip, very fun, also having TV stars just strewn throughout the cast, so you were guaranteed to get the attention of the teenage audience. But it also matched it with very unique scares, very intense, suspenseful scenes, and killing off people that you don't expect to get killed off. And that's why it had to be my number 2 horror film, because there's just one other film from 1996 that makes my jaw hit the floor, that makes me go, what? That is amazing, with incredible dialogue, incredible creature effects, a great cast, a great setting, an us versus them motif, which if you're a longtime subscriber to this channel, you know that
I eat that fucking shit up.
I eat it up. I love it. And what movie could that be? You're asking yourself, what came out in 1996? What's the one that Uncle Roger loves above all else? Well, I'll tell you. We did a live stream on it, and you can watch that in one of these corners. But it is none other than From Dusk Till Dawn. You can hear the music. It's playing in your head. Or maybe I just put the music right here. Hearing the name From Dusk Till Dawn makes you want to watch the movie. There's something about it. This really unique road movie of 2 brothers that are on the run from the law, trying to get to Mexico. So the whole first half of this movie is we're on the run, we've got hostages, badass, balls to the wall, really hip, really unique, Tarantino-esque Rodriguez vehicle for character dialogue and all of this awesome stuff that you just eat up. It is delicious. There's no other way to describe this movie. I could watch these people ride in this RV for 8 hours. Kind of like Hateful Eight. I could watch people in a stagecoach going through a snowstorm for 8 hours. Just give me more. I want more of it. But you've got the legendary K&B effects making all of these great creature effects. You've got Tom Savini in the cast. You've got Fred Williamson in the cast. You've got Juliette Lewis, Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino himself. Holy fuck. This movie's amazing. And if for whatever reason you've been kind of sleeping on From Dusk Till Dawn, stop that. Stop that now. Open another tab, click a little button, and buy this movie. Because, man, what a thrill ride. What a great movie. I'm sure that some of you put Scream above this movie, and that's totally fine. But, man, do I love this movie. And when I want to just have a really fun 2 hours, I'm going to this. I can't believe how good this movie is. But it had to be my number 1. There was never any doubt, never any question when I started making this list that that's how it was going to go down. I would love to hear your list, so let me know in the comments below what films from 1996 just blew your mind. But on that note, I suppose I should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not me, right?